Welcome to Yellowstone National Park, a land of fire and water, stone and sky. Spanning across Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho, this is America's first national park, and still one of its most breathtaking. Here, nature puts on a show like nowhere else. Geysers erupt, rivers carve deep canyons, bison roam free, and hot springs shimmer in surreal shades of blue and gold. In this video, we'll explore Yellowstone's most iconic sites, from Old Faithful to the grand Prismatic Spring, from wildlife encounters to quiet moments off the beaten path. Whether you're planning your own trip, reliving memories, or just dreaming of wild places, you're in the right spot. So sit back, breathe deep, and let Yellowstone remind you just how wild and wonderful the world can be. But before we dive into Yellowstone, let me take you through the kind of surprise you might run into in the rural heart of Montana. Out here, the wide open roads don't always belong to cars. Every now and then you'll find traffic halted, not by construction or weather, but by cowboys on horseback, herding massive groups of cattle right down the highway. Ranch dogs weave skillfully between hooves, keeping the herd in check, while pickup trucks idle patiently in both directions. It's not just a detour, it's a reminder that this land is still very much the Wild West. So if you're road tripping through Montana, be ready to trade your horn for a camera. You're not stuck in traffic, you're watching a way of life in motion. Almost as soon as you pass through the park entrance, the landscape comes alive, and not just with geysers or waterfalls, but with wildlife. Yellowstone is one of the best places in North America to see large animals in their natural habitat, and you don't have to go far to find them. Bison, often in massive herds, graze across open valleys and sometimes stroll right down the road unbothered by traffic. These are the same animals that once roamed the Great Plains in the millions, and here they still rule the land. Keep an eye out along the riverbanks, and you might spot elk wading through water or resting in the tall grass. In the early mornings, especially in Lamar Valley, you may be lucky enough to catch wolves moving silently through the fog or grizzly bears foraging in distant meadows. And up in the trees or along the cliffs, bald eagles, ospreys, and even peregrine falcons make their home here too. In Yellowstone, the animals aren't hidden. They're part of the rhythm of the land. So slow down, stay alert, and let nature reveal itself. Tucked in the northwestern corner of Yellowstone lies a place that looks more like another planet than a piece of Earth, Mammoth Hot Springs. As you arrive, the landscape begins to shift. The forest gives way to steaming ground, bubbling pools, and bright mineral deposits that cascade down ancient limestone hills. This is one of the park's most unique geothermal areas, shaped not by explosive geysers, but by slow, constant transformation. The moment you step onto the boardwalks, you're greeted by the surreal beauty of the terraces. Vast, multi-layered formations built over thousands of years by water, heat, and time. Hot water rises through underground limestone, dissolving calcium carbonate and depositing it at the surface. What you're seeing are living sculptures, growing, changing, flowing ever so slowly. Pallet Spring, near the base, is a favorite. Its golden and orange hues look like melted wax frozen mid-pour. As you climb higher, you'll reach Minerva Terrace, a dramatic staircase of steaming white and rust-colored rock that seems to glow under the sun. But don't expect symmetry or perfection. Mammoth is constantly evolving. Sections dry up, others overflow. What was once vibrant can go dormant, and new springs can emerge overnight. That's the magic here. It's never exactly the same twice. Mammoth Hot Springs reminds us that not all power is loud. Sometimes it bubbles just beneath the surface, reshaping the world one drop at a time. Welcome to Lamar Valley, where the road stretches wide, the sky feels endless, and the wild still roams free. Tucked into the northeastern corner of Yellowstone, Lamar Valley is often called the Serengeti of North America, and for good reason. This is one of the best places on the continent to see large wildlife in its natural habitat. Almost immediately, you'll spot bison, hundreds of them, sometimes more, grazing across the wide-open plains or crossing the road in slow, thundering lines. They've been here for centuries, long before fences or asphalt, and in Lamar, they still set the pace. Look a little closer and you might catch pronghorn antelope sprinting through the grass, or elk resting in the shade near the tree line. Coyotes can often be seen trotting through sagebrush, ears perked, scanning the valley for movement. But what truly draws people here, often at dawn, with spotting scopes and binoculars in hand, is the chance to witness one of Yellowstone's most elusive predators, the gray wolf. Reintroduced in the 1990s, the Lamar Canyon Wolfpack helped restore balance to this ecosystem. Seeing them is never guaranteed, but just knowing they're out there, hidden in the hills, watching, adds a thrill to every moment. A river winds gently through the center of the valley, reflecting the ever-changing skies. In the early morning, mist rises from the ground. In the evening, golden light spills across the grass, setting the whole landscape aglow. This is Yellowstone in its rawest, most untamed form. Not fenced in, not filtered, just wild. So take your time here. Let the silence settle in. Because Lamar Valley isn't just a place to visit, it's a place to witness something ancient and unforgettable. We've just spotted two bull moose grazing near the edge of the meadow. At first glance, you might not recognize them. They don't seem to have antlers right now. That's because male moose shed their antlers each winter, and by early spring they begin growing new ones, a process that happens every year. When they do return, the antlers can span up to 6 feet wide and weigh over 40 pounds. Even without them, these massive animals are impressive, towering nearly 7 feet tall at the shoulder, slow-moving but powerful, and completely at home in these marshy, willow-lined areas. Moose are more solitary than other wildlife in the park, so catching a glimpse like this feels extra special. Moments like these remind us to stay alert. In Yellowstone, nature always has a surprise waiting just around the bend. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love to have you join us. Just hit that subscribe button. At the heart of Yellowstone sits a vast, shimmering expanse, Yellowstone Lake. Stretching over 130 square miles, it's the largest high-elevation lake in North America, sitting over 7,700 feet above sea level. Surrounded by mountain peaks and thick pine forests, the lake's surface is calm, but what lies beneath is anything but ordinary. This is a volcanic lake perched right over the Yellowstone caldera. Deep below, hydrothermal vents bubble and steam, creating an otherworldly landscape that's still being shaped by the heat of the earth. In summer, the water sparkles under blue skies. In winter, it freezes solid, turning into a silent, icy plain. And no matter the season, the quiet here is profound, broken only by the cry of an eagle or the rustle of wind through the trees. Yellowstone Lake is more than beautiful. It's ancient, powerful, and alive in ways you can't always see. Though its waters may seem cold and still, Yellowstone Lake is teeming with life. It's home to several fish species, most notably the Yellowstone cutthroat trout, a native species once abundant throughout the park. These fish play a crucial role in the ecosystem, feeding bears, eagles, otters, and other wildlife. But their survival has faced threats, particularly from the invasive lake trout, which were illegally introduced and have dramatically reduced the native trout population. Today, restoration efforts are ongoing to protect this delicate balance. And beyond the fish, researchers have discovered microbial life living in the lake's hydrothermal vents, organisms that thrive in high heat and acidity, offering clues to life in extreme environments, even beyond Earth. Yellowstone Lake isn't just beautiful, it's biologically rich and ecologically vital. Among the most iconic animals in Yellowstone, the elk are both graceful and powerful, and surprisingly easy to spot. With a population numbering in the tens of thousands, elk are the most abundant large mammals in the park. You'll often see them grazing in open valleys, resting near rivers, or even wandering through developed areas like Mammoth Hot Springs, where they seem entirely unfazed by tourists. In the fall, during the rut or mating season, bull elk become more vocal and territorial. Their haunting bugle, a high, echoing call, carries through the crisp mountain air and signals dominance to other males. Mature bulls sport massive antlers, which they shed every winter and regrow by summer. These can weigh up to 40 pounds and span 4 feet wide. Whether you catch a glimpse of a quiet herd at sunrise or hear a bugle echo through the hills, encountering elk in Yellowstone always feels wild and unforgettable. Tucked along the western edge of Yellowstone Lake, West Thumb Geyser Basin is one of the park's most scenic and surreal geothermal areas. As you step onto the boardwalk, steam rises all around, and the deep blue waters of the lake stretch out beside you. But here, water doesn't just rest. It boils, bubbles, and breathes. This is a place where fire and water meet. West Thumb is part of a volcanic crater, or caldera, that formed more than 100,000 years ago. Though it's smaller than the main Yellowstone caldera, it's just as active. And the geothermal features here are shaped by their unique lakeside setting. You'll pass colorful hot springs like Abyss Pool, which plunges over 50 feet deep, a bottomless blue eye into the earth. Around it, steam vents, mud pots, and small geysers create a constantly changing landscape. One moment, it's peaceful. The next, a spout of boiling water erupts just a few feet away. Then there are the underwater geysers, hidden just beneath the surface of the lake. In winter, you can sometimes see steam rising from the water's edge, where vents continue to bubble under the ice. It's one of the few places in the world where geothermal activity happens within a lake, and it's a reminder that Yellowstone is alive, even where the surface looks calm. The scenery here is just as dramatic as the heat below. The towering peaks of the Absaroka Range reflect in the water. Bald eagles and ospreys soar overhead, and elk or bison often wander through, passing quietly between the steam. West Thumb Geyser Basin is less crowded than other geothermal areas, but just as powerful. It offers a rare moment where you can feel the full contrast of Yellowstone, peaceful and violent, ancient and constantly changing. So take your time, watch your step, and let this strange, beautiful place leave its mark, just as it has on the land for thousands of years. In the heart of Yellowstone lies one of the most famous natural wonders on Earth, Old Faithful. It's not the tallest geyser in the park or the most powerful, but it's by far the most reliable. Every 90 minutes or so, Old Faithful erupts like clockwork, shooting a towering column of steam and water up to 180 feet into the air. It's nature's reminder that time can be wild and still predictable. Crowds gather from around the world to witness this moment, a spectacle that lasts just over a minute, but feels timeless. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love to have you join us. Just hit that subscribe button. Steam rises, the ground trembles slightly, and then a roar, a jet of boiling water, and gasps from every direction. But Old Faithful is just one piece of a much larger story. It sits within the Upper Geyser Basin, home to the highest concentration of geysers anywhere in the world. Wander along the boardwalks and you'll discover a surreal landscape. Steam drifts across pools the color of gemstones, Sapphire Pool, Belgian Pool, and the vividly painted Chromatic Spring. Nearby Beehive Geyser might catch you by surprise with its narrow, explosive eruption, soaring even higher than Old Faithful, but with no set schedule. You might also encounter the towering cone of Castle Geyser, which erupts less frequently but with dramatic force, sending water and steam into the air for over 20 minutes. And then there's Grand Geyser, one of the tallest predictable geysers in the world, erupting in a powerful burst that can reach 200 feet, often in multiple stages. This basin is like a living, breathing world, shaped by heat and pressure deep beneath the surface. Every sound, every bubble, hiss, and splash is the voice of a restless earth. Even between eruptions, there's a strange beauty. This is Grand Prismatic Spring, the crown jewel of Yellowstone's thermal wonders, and one of the most surreal sights on Earth. Stretching 370 feet across, wider than a football field, Grand Prismatic is the largest hot spring in the United States and the third largest in the world. But it's not just its size that stuns, it's the colors. From above, the spring looks like an eye to another world. A deep, vibrant blue in the center fades into rings of green, yellow, orange, and fiery red. It's not paint, it's not trick photography. It's biology and chemistry at work. The intense blue core of the spring is nearly sterile. Heated to nearly 160 degrees Fahrenheit, few organisms can survive there. But as the water cools and flows outward, thermophilic microbes, heat-loving bacteria, begin to thrive. These microscopic life forms form colorful mats around the edges of the spring. Their pigments change with temperature and light, producing the brilliant yellows, oranges, and reds that form Grand Prismatic's outer rings. In summer, when sunlight is strongest, the colors are most vivid. In cooler months, the palette shifts, reminding you that this isn't a static feature, but a living, breathing system. As you walk the Midway Geyser Basin boardwalk, you can feel the heat rising through the wooden slats. The steam moves like fog, curling and shifting in the breeze. It smells faintly of sulfur, and the sounds are subtle, soft bubbling, quiet hissing, a symphony of geology in motion. Nearby, you'll see other geothermal features like Excelsior Geyser Crater, which once erupted violently but now flows constantly as a hot spring, releasing 4,000 gallons of water per minute into the Firehole River. But Grand Prismatic is the star, not only for its beauty, but for what it teaches us. From the Fairy Falls overlook, the full shape and symmetry of the spring comes into view, the way the colors bloom outward like a rainbow ripple. It's one of the best views in Yellowstone, and one that many visitors say feels otherworldly, even spiritual. This isn't just a photo stop. It's a place that challenges your sense of scale and time. The heat beneath your feet comes from a supervolcano that last erupted over 600,000 years ago, and the colors created by some of the oldest life forms on Earth may hold clues to what life could look like on other planets. Grand Prismatic Spring is more than a wonder. It's a portal into deep time, deep earth, and deep beauty. A reminder that this planet is still alive, still evolving, and still full of color we've barely begun to understand. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love to have you join us. Just hit that subscribe button. Yellowstone isn't just a park, it's a world of extremes. A place where fire meets ice, where wildlife roams free, and where Earth reveals its power in geysers, canyons, and boiling springs. From the thunder of bison herds in Lamar Valley to the rainbow hues of Grand Prismatic, from the quiet stillness of Yellowstone Lake to the eruption of Old Faithful, every corner of this park reminds us just how alive our planet truly is. It's wild, it's raw, and it's unforgettable. Whether you're visiting for the first time or the 50th, Yellowstone always has more to show you and more to teach you. Thanks for coming along for the journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay wild, and keep exploring.